In a fun jump journal dream, DJ's crafting grungy scenes. Hither and Yon, where friends all meet. Paper glue and vintage treats.
Hello, my crafty friends and creatives from around the globe. Welcome to Hither and Yon Studio. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. It's part 3 of the Fairy Journal for October 2025. We're going to build out some pages. We're going to start our little story, and you should have received your first bonus, which includes 2 cards, which, if you can't read cursive, sorry. It's actually kind of like a bouncy kind of script. I think it's fine. And 2 blanks. You could put these on the back if you wanted to, but I'm going to put mine right on the page. You should have 2, and we're going to get into the story for today. I want to start kind of talking about the story, and I'll read it aloud. And then we'll start building. So just some background. If this is your first video, there's a couple of videos before this where we built this journal out. I did the flip through of what's inside, and then we built the journal. So that's part 1 and part 2. And I covered mine with this purpley fabric, which I thought was appropriate for a fairy journal. And I did 3 signatures with some space in between each. And I have these little cords here. And I gave you the order of the pages, which makes sense with the story. The story will follow the imagery on the pages that are printed on the pages. And then the rest of these pages are for you to journal in. They are for you to build out with your ephemera bits and things like that. So today we're going to cover 2 parts of our journal, which will take us to about here with this bridge over a beautiful waterway. And we'll do 2 a week because I did the math, and it looks like, well, the last one is by itself. So there's 7 main pages like this, and some in between pages. So 6 of those, but we'll do them together. And I would invite you, if you're a storyteller, to make the story your own. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take me too seriously. It's a story, and it's about a traveler's journey. So let's get started. I'm going to read this from what I've written. Okay. The journal is called Journey into Light, and it's a traveler's story. A weary traveler who works through the story. So that is the premise of the storyline, and it begins. It had been one of those days, the kind that start heavy and never quite find their rhythm. The house felt too loud, the clock too fast, and every request, every errand, every thankless task stacked like bricks on her back. Can you relate? A careless comment from someone she loved replayed in her head, dull and persistent, and even the small joys she often noticed, like the smell of coffee or the soft hum of music, had slipped past her unnoticed today. She wanted to cry or maybe scream, but instead she simply whispered to herself, "I need some air." And so she left. She left without her phone, without a plan. She stepped out into the late afternoon. The sky was gold and lavender, the kind of light that feels between worlds, almost fairy-like. Her feet found the old trail that curved behind the neighborhood, a place she hadn't walked in years. Why hadn't she walked in years? Each step pressed the noise of the day a little further behind. The wind brushed her cheeks, the scent of moss rose from the ground, and somewhere in the distance a bird called out, almost like a question. For the first time all day, she didn't answer to anyone. She simply walked. Then it happened. So faint, she might have missed it if her eyes hadn't caught the glimmer. Something shimmered in the tall grass. A flicker of gold? It danced once, then vanished. Or did it? She paused, blinking, scanning the shadows. No, there it was again. A ripple of movement, small and quick. Maybe it was a bird hopping through the tall grass and the stems in the forest. She walked over, but when she parted the grass, she saw not a bird, but a narrow path, one she didn't remember. Of course, she hadn't been on this walk for a while, so maybe she just didn't remember it. It was curling deeper into the trees. It looked impossibly old, as though it had been waiting all along. The air changed as she stepped forward. It grew quieter. Not the kind of silence that feels empty, but the kind that holds its breath in wonder. The colors around her deepened, the light softening to a gentle glow. The world seemed to exhale around her. And there, tucked beneath a cluster of roots, she saw it, a tiny cottage. No bigger than her hand. It was built of twigs and moss, and it was glowing softly from within. She crouched down, staring, half uncertain if she'd finally lost her mind. Yet the warmth spilling from its windows wrapped around her like comfort, almost like recognition or a remembrance of being here before. She stayed there for a long time, saying nothing, mesmerized by the sight. The small house flickered. The leaves above swayed. And the earth felt alive beneath her palms. A whisper drifted through her thoughts. Not a voice exactly, but a knowing that it didn't need words. When the world becomes too loud, step away. Magic hides in the quiet. The traveler closed her eyes, letting the stillness settle into her bones. For the first time in a long while, her heart slowed. The noise of the day melted into the background, replaced by the steady pulse of her own breath. In that moment, she realized the world's magic had never disappeared. She had simply stopped noticing it beneath the clutter of her days. And so, in that quiet hollow of light and moss, the weary traveler learned her first lesson. That when you remove yourself from the chaos and allow stillness to return, the world reveals its shimmer once more. All right, that is part one. We have our traveler who has entered her journey into the magical realm of the fairies, which perhaps she hasn't figured out yet, but how could you not? I mean, we know fairies are tiny, or most of them. And, I mean, it's a house made of moss and sticks, so, you know. Okay, we're going to build out some pages. So that's part one. We're going to have a second part a little later in the video. We haven't gotten to these yet, so we're going to leave them to the side. I just want to build out a few pages. I have some fussy cuts. I am going to bring a fairy into this. I think this is going to be my first fairy. I love her. She's amazing. I didn't do a lot of inking in this, so I don't know how much I'm going to ink or not ink. I might ink little pieces if I feel like I want them to really stand out. But I do want to build out some pages, so I have some book pages here that I found. I was cleaning, and they're all glued together, so they're pretty sturdy. And I thought they would make some fun pockets that I can add some paper to. So I think that's what I'm going to do first. Actually, I have this one. I haven't checked the words, so if there's bad words, you'll have to forgive me. I don't check these. I thought it would be fun to do maybe like a stack of 3 pockets, but maybe with like a curved edge. I've done these before. It's been a little while. So we're going to do that, and I think I'll do that here. And then I think on the first page before this, I just want to add some elements. Actually, thinking. Because she's just getting on her path. We'll think about it while I cut these. So what I want to do is a stacked pocket on this page. So we're going to have one, and then another smaller, and then another smaller. So I got to start with the first one, and it's falling right under singularly. So guys, let me know what you think of the story so far. It goes on. Obviously, it's a story. And what's your take? What's your take on this little adventure? And I invite you to kind of write your own adventure if you would like. And you can change the way the story goes. So if you're a story writer or you like to tell stories, you can kind of start from my piece and make it your own. And if you want, I will share it where I can. But let's keep it light and uplifting, because that's kind of the whole point of this little journal, is to keep everybody in a good frame of mind. Let's just do 3, because I think 3 will be more than enough for a small journal. I don't want to get too bulky right away, right? All right, I gotta, there and there. Cut this piece off. Yeah, so I just have 2 pieces of book page together. And like I said, I had found a bunch of these when I was cleaning. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I got to use them. Since it's twilight in the story at this point, I'm going to use some of these on the pages. Yeah, we can put this one on the bottom. Okay, so I am going to just going to leave a very little bit around the outside, and I don't want a pen, I want a pencil. I think this one I want in the back, and I can kind of cut this in half and cheat, because the other one is going to cover it up. Like that. And then this one I will put there. And then this one will go here, like so. But I'm going to round all the corners with my corner rounder, which is somewhere. Where is it? Uh-oh. Oh. All right. It was right in front of me, but it was like this, so I was totally missing it, but now I have it. Okay. I forgot what I was doing here because of that. I think I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to put the two pieces up together and then I'll move it back out, but I got to get the corner rounded. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can just kind of draw it in. And then I think I might sew it, so you might have to put up with me sewing. If I can't ink, I want to sew. Alright, so let me glue this on, and I'm just going to move it down a little when I glue it. I hope everybody's having a crafty day. It is chilly, chilly today. Chilly, chilly. It rained finally. Yay! We need the rain. And then this one will go here. Makes a fun little triple pocket, and then you can put whatever you want in it. I think I want that follow the path to be on my first page. Now that you know the story, you can start to build yours. Everybody was afraid to do anything. Sorry. So these will be every Thursday this month. If you don't like waiting, you can just wait till the end of the month and all the videos will be out and all the goodies will be out, and you can build your journal then if you don't like waiting. Okay, so I'm going to glue down the sides, and because I made these all the same length, I can glue down the bottom. But I'm going to leave this open, so I'm just going to glue down the side and the bottom. And did I give you pockets in this kit? I did. But I want to do other stuff too. And I have like other fairy stuff too. I have this is nothing. I have an entire, like almost a binder full of fairy stuff. But I want to use maybe some of these. So I did pull them out. So use your stash too. Whatever you have. If you have any. If you don't, it's fine. I'm sure you can find book page somewhere. Libraries are always giving away books. Friends of the library, they usually have really cheapy ones too. Okay, so that will go here on this first page. Gosh, it's so stark without anything on it. I'm going to sew down this side, so let's let that dry for a bit. Let's work on this page while that dries so I can sew it. I think I want to use this, and where is that other punch? Here we go again. Guys, I'm just like looking around. I must have looked at it like 4 times. This is, I think I got this on either Amazon or Temu. I think it might be in my Amazon shop. I'm not sure. You can go check. But they make so many punches like this. So it's got a concave. I like this one here. I'm going to try to see. I don't want to take out too many of the words parts. But see how it does like that little, like that? We could still see the word. It's fine. I probably would have cut it different had I known what I was going to do with it. But that's still fine. It's fine. I do have some milled lavender here that I had out this morning, so let's see how that looks. Just bring those edges around. I don't think it's dark enough, so we might have to go with something else. I also have wilted violet. Let's see if there's anything left on here. Yeah, that's a little darker. Okay, I'm going to use that one. Only because otherwise I don't think you'll see that design. Follow the path, and then she was on her journey. So let's see if there's any imagery here in these fussy cuts I can It's a true story, right? Like we all get so caught up. Oh, I have another fairy. Oh, she's kind of cool. Maybe we'll do this. Like the little fairy was telling her, but she was hushed. Follow the path. I think I'm going to do that. We get so busy and we don't breathe. Now, that's not true for all of us. It's not true for everyone. I know some of you do. But a little reminder today to take pleasure in the magic that is around you, that we often overlook because we're so busy in our lives. You know, the simplest things sometimes. I always think of that saying that said, if you woke up only with the things that you thanked God for today, if you woke up tomorrow with only the things that you thanked God for today, and, you know, replace God with whatever, you don't even have to use a higher power, what would you wake up with tomorrow? And that always like kind of sets the stage right, you know? All right, I think I can fit her like that. Yeah. And then we don't lose the message. So anyway, a good little message there for you. Don't worry, we'll get to the cards. It's coming. If you're impatient, you can scoot ahead and then build out your pages later. I kind of like to spend the time. My craft room is like the only real peace other than when I get outside with the pup. The days are busy, indeed, right? And if we got more hours, which we all wish for sometimes, we would just fill them up anyway. All right, little lady, there you go. All right, kind of helping the traveler on her journey. And then we have this beautiful house that needs some decor. Maybe, you know, it would be cool maybe is if I could put a little Brad in here and then it's, or maybe down this way. Is there a bigger one? I know I did like 2 or 3, so that might be fun. Because she kind of, oh, here's the other ones. Yeah, I could do that. I could put like a little Brad here. And then maybe here. I am going to push this back with some, I don't want to cut that out. But if I push it back with a little vintage photo, it'll kind of match the page better. All right, so that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to put the Brad all the way through. I'm going to put the Brad on here, and then I'm going to see if I can just attach it to the page, because I've already kind of done some stuff there. Another thing I can do is use another piece of paper. So let me get a Brad first. Here they are. So let's see. Put it there. Because this is kind of loose. I don't want anything to mess with it. I could also put it there. I think it would work better up here, though. Make up your mind. Actually, I'm going to use an awl. These Brads are kind of small. I'm a poet. All right. Maybe there. Because my 1/8 is a little big, and I trying to keep this as tight as I can. Not that tight. A little more. Okay. About the size of my hole punch. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, that's very tight. That's so tight. Usually they move fine. There we go. Right, let's see if we can tear it. Doesn't want to move much. Okay, I think we're good now. So I want to glue that, but I don't want to glue this. Good luck. Good luck. Let's see what we can do. Let's see. See, the trick is not to get too much glue on it and not to get it on the paper, but we need enough glue to hold it down, right? All right, while that one dries, let's see about this one. Yeah, I want it to be so that, yeah, see, this is, all right. You, sir, have to stay, so I'm gonna reach. Ooh, just made it, okay. And then, yeah, I want the brad down here so that I can reveal the whole house. So, it's just like a little bug on here. I was looking to see if there was like a spot in this white area that I could use. But alas, there is not really. How's your weather where you are? Drop me a comment below and tell me where you're hailing from and what kind of weather you got. Are you down under and getting into your summer? Or are you in Montana looking at snow flurries? I did my live this morning for my members, and one of the members, Winnie, I believe, said that they were going to get some flurries. And I was like, no. I'm happy for fall. It can just stay fall until spring. All right, so come on. Move. Move. I'm afraid, like, if I don't loosen it up, that after I glue it, it'll be too tight and, you know what I mean? And then it'll just rip it out of the page, which is probably going to do anyway, but that's all right. Keep it upbeat. Keep it upbeat. All right. Trying not to get it on the paper. I know I said it like 4 times. Sorry. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit on the page. And I'm going to go sew up this little bit, this little ditty, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was a lot longer than it should have been because my machine was being silly, but I think these are staying. All right, let's go over here. Let's just leave them a little longer. I sewed up my pocket. And just gonna cut off these extra threads. Okay. It's like 40 minutes and we got 2 pages done. It's always the way. I don't mind. All right, let me glue this down. I'm going to use my Fabrifix and I'm going to glue the whole thing down because, oh, actually I can't because I want to use that top one. All right, I'm not. I'm just doing 2 sides. Just make sure it's really well attached. I was just worried because the page is bowing a little, but we'll let it dry good. And I'm going closer to the spine here. Can't see. I should probably cover this. Nope. Oh yeah, milled lavender. Okay. Constantly putting the wrong caps on the wrong oxides. Okay. Just gonna hold this in place. These clips are like my saviors. They help me when I'm in need in my journals. Okay. Oh, I think these are going to be good. Look, it's like a little reveal. How fun is that? I can always glue them back in place if I need to, but they seem to be staying. If not, I'll find another solution. Another solution would be to get another one of these leaves, cut it, and then pierce the brad through both and just glue the bottom one, the bottom leaf down so that it's holding the brad under it. So just if that doesn't work, that's what I'm going to do. So if you see another leaf under there, that's why. Because it didn't want to stay. I don't know how long term it will stay anyway, right? Okay, so she's hanging out. She's thinking. She's thinking. These pages could be good for kind of like a little thought-provoking journaling or drawing, or maybe you go outside with a little Polaroid and you take some photos. You could put them here and then maybe put a little bird. Maybe you're not an outside person or mobility is an issue. Maybe you're going to read. You can take some notes, or listening to a really cool podcast. You can take some notes about that. Just some quiet time, right? No phone, no chores, nothing. Just meditate maybe. I don't know, whatever you do. But let's see. What do we see? We're still in this path. So maybe we got like something like this. Like we're still in normal world, sort of, because we're not seeing little mini seed houses in the normal world, I suppose. But I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to look at those journal. Let's look through my journal stuff, my fairy stuff, rather. Let that dry. Let's see if there's anything cool in here I can add. It says woods, but it's all fairy. Oh, that one goes, kind of. Or she could be like a little fairy peeking out. Maybe. This one, I love this one. How joyous, huh? Maybe we'll keep that out for later. Oh, she's pretty too. Just like, oh, this is from my my one kit. I have a kit of fairies, little girly fairies. And yeah, she's one of them. All right, maybe we'll save that for another. She's kind of got some weird stuff going on with her eyes. Oh, you're so pretty. This one I love too. Somebody's going to know this artist. I can never think of their name. This one's nice. That one might be coming up too. Fairies are real. Need that. Maybe some little bits along the way. Like that one, blowing fairy dust. These are also from those, these are miniature ones though. I don't think they're this small in the kit. Just tags and journaling cards with little girls with fairy wings. Maybe this one. That one's pretty. Oh, we got a bigger fairies are real. And a bigger one. Okay, so that's there. Those I think are just colorful bits. Let's see what's in this one. She's so cute. What does this say? But the hours of the sun swift glide, and the flowers with them are speeding. Oh, that might be helpful. We have something coming up. Oh, these, I did another journal. Fairy wings. Oh, this is from, I have an ephemera building kit, and that's what these are from. It's all fairy ephemera building. So that's in the shop if you're interested. Will she fit on a page? She's that one, but bigger. She's too big. A floral fantasy in an old English garden. Maybe. I love this little girl. She's so cute. What's over here? More words. Maybe I'll take them. I don't know that mischievous, but all right. So I'm using some. I'm using some of my stash. All right, let's see. Maybe I can tuck this little bit behind here because we know that the fairies are guiding her. Right? We know they're there. She hasn't seen them yet, but they're there. Okay, so we need some stuff to put in here. Let's see what's in the ephemera for the kit. So yeah, it's kind of a reflective journal. Kind of look for some opportunities to quiet. Looking for bigger cards. Oh, these are cute with the fairies on them. What else? This one. Maybe this one because it's like florally. Put that in there. Just going to I really want to just use my vintage photo. But I didn't do any of my pages or anything, so it kind of feels like, no, I don't want to do that. Let me put this guy back here. What is sticking? There we go. What else? What else? Maybe this one. We'll put this one back here. Like that. Our fairies are still hiding. I don't know. Maybe this one. The purple is so pretty. It's doing purple this morning too. By the way, I do have memberships now on the YouTube channel. If you don't know, you can join. It's $5 a month, and you get an after party after the Friday live, which is a public live every Friday at noon. And there's an after party for members only, and then every Wednesday morning I'm having a 2-hour live crafting session with members, and I have some other perk ideas in mind, so we'll be talking about them. All right, and then I need something for here. So you can just hit the join. If you go to my channel, there's a little join button, and it might be showing here as you're watching the video. And yeah, you can join. It supports my work. It supports the channel and all the freebies I give you guys. So it's a good way to help support the channel. Maybe she sees a butterfly or something on her little journey there. You know, like she's seeing this and then she's mesmerized. So maybe there's a little butterfly there. We'll keep him and we'll just glue down his center so he has some movement. I'll kind of put him there. Okay, so we have that. We have some stuff there. We have a little hidden fairy, but this is good for writing. All right, more writing, I think, but you can build these pages out as you want. I'm going to continue the story. Okay, so when we last left our traveler, we talked about the stillness, and the world reveals the shimmer and the magic once more, right? When she opened her eyes again, the world had softened. The light was different now, not the gold of dusk, but the gentle bloom of morning. The cool mist hung low over the ground, and the air smelled of rain and earth. The tiny glowing cottage was gone, but the memory of its warmth lingered in her chest like an ember that refused to go out. The path stretched ahead of her, narrow and winding, its stones slick with dew from the morning. As she stepped forward, something like a song drifted through the air, a whisper at first and then words carried on the rhythm of her breath. The path begins with a single stone. A lantern hums, "You're not alone." Soft wings stir the morning air. Every step says, "Hope is there." So that's our first card. A little reminder that you're never alone and that hope is always there. I say that hope is my kryptonite. It is what keeps me going all the time. So this card I'm going to put here because it's the path. And this is taking us into the next part of this story. And so I'm just going to add a little of this milled lavender. And now you can use this. You can stick this into a pocket and journal on the back if you wish. You can put it down on the page, which is what I'm going to do, and then tuck a little note behind it. You could also attach it with some washi tape if you'd like to the page. So you would put a piece of washi tape here. You wouldn't go all the way to the top. You would go like kind of where my nails are. And then you would flip it over and put another piece on the other side. And then this would become a flip, or you could do the same thing this way. And then you could have like a little hidden spot under it where you could journal. But I'm going to glue mine down as a pocket, or yeah, I guess a pocket, a side pocket tuck thing. And then I can store a little note in there if I wanted to. If you want to write your own little poem, if you were of that type, you can do that. Okay. So our path with our stones continues on. The rhyme seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. It wrapped around her like comfort, like a promise that she wasn't walking this path entirely by herself. And she's not, right? Because we know that there's fairies along the way. And they're keeping a close eye on her. They are. Put one of these guys down. She's so joyous. Look at her. With her little offering. She very much looks like an autumn fairy to me. So I'm going to put her here. And I think I'm going to find some of those stepping stones. Tell me who the little fairies are in your life. You know, those gentle beings that kind of are guiding you along the way. Mine is my pup. She kind of keeps me going. I'm going to put her here. I love her. She's so cute. Just going to glue her down. My daughter obviously keeps me sane. You guys keep me going. You really do. You keep me happy. I feel like that piece shouldn't be there. My crafty stuff, right? All my crafty goodies. There we go. Better. Now it's stuck to my finger. Yay! Oh my goodness. Okay. Those grandbabies you guys have. All right, there she is. And I have stepping stones. I know I do. Let's put a couple of them. Right? Because those are kind of our pathway. And I made them little hearts because, yes, because. And what else? Leave that for now. Let's continue. Soon the trail opened into a valley of flowers, wild and untamed, stretching as far as she could see. Every color imaginable swayed in the breeze. Rose and buttercup, violet and cream, all bathed in golden morning light. The traveler stopped and simply stared. The hum of the bees and the gentle rustle of petals filled the space where her thoughts used to race. The quiet wasn't empty, it was alive. As she knelt among the blooms, she noticed how each flower leaned towards the sun, not straining or struggling, just opening in perfect trust. They did not chase the light, they received it. And in that small, perfect truth, she saw a reflection of herself, or perhaps what she longed to be. And a soft voice brushed the edge of her thoughts. Gratitude begins when you notice what is already there. The words sank deep. She realized that even in the busiest of her life, there had always been beauty. A quiet cup of coffee, the warmth of sunlight through a window, the softness of her favorite blanket. Small things she had stopped seeing in the rush to do more, fix more, be more. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her worries loosen and replaced by something lighter, something blooming. Something blooming. Put a little bloom. I think the little bloom would be a good bit. And guys, you'll be getting this story at the end, so you can make a little journal and put it in there and reflect upon it if you'd like to. I think this kind of visualization is very healing. Hey, what are you doing? It's getting cold out. Everybody trying to come inside now. Get. Okay. It was as though the air itself shifted around her. The wind stirred the petals, and a faint hum moved through the field. Not quite a song, but a vibration that seemed to rise from the earth. She turned slowly, sensing movement beyond the tall wildflowers. At first, she thought it was only the sunlight catching on the petals, but then she saw it, a gentle shimmer in the air, as if the world itself were exhaling color. Out of that shimmer, a shape began to form. The blooms nearest her leaned back, their stems bowing as though making space, and where they parted, a small cottage emerged. Not built of wood or of stone, but out of the flowers themselves. Petals layered over petals, creating soft walls and glowing faintly, and a roof woven from vines bent towards the morning light. The windows shone like dew, and a soft golden glow pulsed from within, steady as a heartbeat. The traveler pressed a hand to her chest, overcome by the feeling she couldn't name. The cottage seemed alive, breathing in rhythm with the world around it, humming with the same quiet life that filled the meadow. Every flower that once seemed separate now revealed itself as part of something whole. She stepped closer, her fingers brushing along a wall of silky petals. The texture was impossibly real, cool where the shadows fell and warm where the light touched it. A soft fragrance rose. Roses, jasmine, something sweet she couldn't identify, and for a moment she simply stood there and her eyes closed, breathing it all in. A voice, gentle and familiar, drifted from somewhere nearby, or perhaps from within the cottage itself. When gratitude roots in your heart, beauty builds a home around you. Tears filled her eyes, not of sadness but relief. The little cottage seemed to nod, its glow pulsing softly, and she understood gratitude had called this place into being, the tangible proof that noticing beauty creates more of it. She lingered, tracing the frame of one luminous window before glancing up the path ahead. Somewhere in the distance, she could hear the faint murmur of running water. The sound beckoned, and she felt ready to follow, carrying the warmth of the flowered cottage with her like a lantern in her chest. All right, so we've gotten to the cottage, the blooming cottage. So we have our seed of a cottage here hidden, and now it's blooming here, which is the next step, and she's carrying on her path. So I am going to add some of these floral elements because she did notice some flowers. I'm looking for some other flowers because I want those for, oh, here, we'll use this one. And I don't want to cut that out, so I'm just going to do this. I'm cheating. Oh, and we are going to put a little fairy here too, but we're continuing our little path, and I think I'll put the flower here. Like that. All right, guys, tell me what you think so far. I love this little story. I hope you do too. Little fun reminders. I believe that 100%. I think it's a universal law. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. It's one of those weird things. Tell me if you experience that. If you kind of feel like when you're grumpy, like when they say when it rains, it pours. I think there's a reason for that. I think, yeah, like if we focus, if we're happy and joyous, it seems more joy comes to us. So it's just a little gentle reminder. So that's some of the flowers that she's smelling. What else? I want to do a little fairy on this page, and I had this little dancing one who I thought was so sweet. Let's see, what can she be dancing on? What can she be dancing upon? How about She is dancing on a little acorn. Maybe? Let's see what else is here. Oh, there's another flower. Let me put this one. Maybe she's dancing on a flower. There we go. Yes. Maybe she's emerging from behind the flowers. That would be cute. Let me glue this down. Glue it as a tuck. See what I can do here. What can I do to keep her so that I can take her out? Because it would be cute to kind of put a little message on there. Let's see. What do I got? Oh, what do I got? There's a key. There's a little lantern. There's a little feather. Let's use the little feather. These are tickets. So there's a little piece there that I didn't cut out because I like to punch these out like that with my little hole punch. There's almost no ink left on this, which is good because it's giving me a nice light touch. So let's see if I maneuver this in such a way, I can kind of tuck her like that. So let me do this. Just gonna kind of glue that little bit, right? And then she can be a little removable bit. I like that. Okay. And then she said, okay, so the gentle sound of the water was calling her beyond. And then we get into the brook breathes out a gentle sigh, reflections dance under a noon sky. Step across, the stream runs clear. Every ripple whispers, be here. And that card goes with this little bridge going over the rippling water. And this is taking us into the next stage of the story, which we're going to do in the next video. But I did want to get you to this point so we could put the other, the other card in here. And again, you can do whatever you like with these. And kind of work it out so that you have them in a way that works for you. And there are pockets in here that you can pull out and use for this. So you could, definitely stick them in one of these pockets if you wish. I guess I could use something like that too and kind of stick it in there, couldn't I? Let's see if there is a pocket in the kit that will work. Maybe I'll keep this one out. We got this one with the little blooms. She was in that blooming cottage, so maybe we'll use this one. Or you can make your own. Out of some of the bits, there were some extra pages, so you could definitely do that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll hide another fairy in here as well. I like it, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so this will go here. And I feel like All right, we have this little drop too, which we could use as a tuck for the water, or I could put a word up there. What else do I have? I have a butterfly. We have, all right, let me pick a card. I kind of like these two dancing fairies to go in here, but I'm going to round these corners. So these could be a little journaling card. I wish I had hours to spend with you guys so we could just go through all the things and talk about all the stuff. Time moves so fast. Let's see. Another one of these. We have a little lantern. We have this vortex. I'm going to save that. What else is over here? We have a little birdie. A little birdie. Don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. What it is the colors. They're kind of throwing me off a bit. All right. I think I'm just going to use the drop because she heard the water. I'd like to use it kind of like a little journaling card. So maybe I can find a little piece. Maybe this fair lady. That's going to cover that up. Maybe here. And then I can put the water drop in it. So, in lieu of this, since you may not have it, you could use a butterfly and put the drop in there. You could just use a piece, kind of cut a little piece off of one of these and use it. I'm just going to put this there, make it very thin so I can put the droplets of water. And I think there's two. So if I find the other one, I don't think I cut it out yet. I will put that in here too because I think they should go together. So that's going to sit there. Even though the color's a little off, it's fine. It's water. Okay, and that's where we're going to leave off today. Feel free to build yours out, though. You can continue. The story will continue from this point on. We're going to get to this section. So there's a couple of pages here. You can write, reflect, build out some more pages, do whatever you like to do. You can also put some pockets in here if you'd like, or just decorate the inside cover. I'm going to make a pocket here, and that is where I'm going to put the journal that has the story. So that's what I'm going to do with mine when it's all done, just so you kind of get a feel for what I'm doing. But yeah, so these will be little fun places to write some thoughts. Maybe I'll put that fairies are real behind that because it's kind of hidden then. What else do we have here? We have our journey. Go in light, creative soul, healing light. Oh, how about magic is everywhere? Because we did kind of talk about, yeah, let's do this. This time I'm going to concave these like this. It's fine. And yeah, so let me know what you think. Hopefully this story is uplifting, thought-provoking, which was the point. I just wanted to bring some joy to the world, I guess. That's it. Magic is everywhere. It is. So hopefully you'll spend some time noticing the little things. And hopefully by noticing those little things, magic will find you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this little make and the story. And I will see you next Thursday, where we will continue and watch your mail, because there'll be new cards. And we will continue our story. So I will see you then. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a great rest of your day, all night. Bye.